All right, welcome everybody to Monday Night Live with Mad Peppers, featuring the Madison County Mountaineers Coaches Corner with Larry Helmet. We would like to thank Mad Peppers and James Atkins for their generosity in hosting the show. And Larry, tough week, but a great season, really.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about the Buckingham game?
Yeah. An offense like that, when somebody's running a double wing, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get power toss left, power toss right, and dive and trap up the middle. And you got to be tough enough to stop it. And I thought we did a good job of slowing them down, but we definitely couldn't stop them. But we got some stops, and we just didn't capitalize on our opportunities. So, we knew what we were going to get, and we just weren't tough enough to overcome it. So.
Yeah, I think the most encouraging thing I walked away from it, one thing was really cold. It didn't seem to bother you, though. That was freezing.
I didn't notice the cold at all, really.
And I will tell everybody, the foot warmers they put for your feet, like hand warmers, do not buy them. They do not last no time. So one of the things I got away from was, in the past, it seems like when it gets to the big game like that, against a big opponent, we just didn't compete. Like last year for Riverheads, I didn't feel like we competed. But we competed.
Yeah, I thought we
right to the end.
I thought we played really well up until the fourth quarter right there, and it kind of slipped away with about 7 or 8 minutes left. But I thought we really fought hard and played well. We made a few little minor adjustments at halftime and got 3 or 4 stops early in the third, and that gave us a chance to come back and get back in it, and we just couldn't capitalize. But yeah, I couldn't be more proud of them. They were big, strong, tough, and gritty, but I felt like undersized. We were right there with them, and we played hard. And
yeah, the kids really did play hard. And on offense, JB ran the ball really hard.
Yeah,
it's given some good holes by his fullbacks and his offensive line.
The second play from scrimmage, he took it 67 yards to the house. And we couldn't really do that throughout the whole game, but I did think that we did enough to move the ball and hold possessions, and we just couldn't finish. So
yeah, and they definitely knew we were there. That's for sure. It was a hard-fought game for us, but it's I think it's something you can build on for the future.
Yeah,
some football. I think the group of seniors you had really. Gosh, keep thinking about it to the COVID year.
Yeah.
And here we were, we couldn't even get a first down.
Yeah.
Until now, we're like winning playoff games and we're competing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this senior class is special. There's 17 of them. You got Layman Carpenter. He's a tight end, defensive end, linebacker. He's been with us since his freshman year. You have William Dickey, an all-region receiver. Possibly All-State this year, phenomenal numbers. You have Jeremiah Brown. He will go into Madison history as one of the best backs. He's 1,980 yards, 22 touchdowns. That's.
And also one of the top in the history of Virginia High School League of yards in the game.
Yeah, 416 yards in a game. You can't say enough about him. He's given us everything he ever could possibly give us, and we couldn't be more proud of him. Landon Alcott played for years. He was number 10. He's a heck of a practice player and scout team player. Doesn't always get the starting reps, but the way he brings the energy on the sidelines, everybody fits the mold. Adam Johnson, another 3-year starter, played defensive back, had a wonderful year. Ezra Shealy, he was new to us this year. He's Bobby Wingate's cousin. This is his first year playing, but he brought a lot of energy. Bobby Wingate, I can't say enough about him. He's done everything for us, from playing safety to linebacker to special teams to quarterback the last few weeks. He's put in a hard spot, but he responded really well and helped us beat Clark for the first time in 21 years. So you can't say enough about that young man. Charles Brooks, another one that's been with me forever. Works really hard. He's phenomenal on special teams. His motor never quits. You have Wyatt Tompkins. Can't say enough about him. 129 tackles in 8 games as a senior. Losing him the last 4 games is tough on you. He's a different kind of breed. Look at his grandfather, Russ Tompkins, was one of the best.
One thing about it, Wyatt, is I think he's a throwback player.
Yeah.
He could easily fit into the years, 40 years ago, and play, and then right there.
Well, I was talking to somebody today, when you're playing Buckingham, they're tough and gritty and physical, and Wyatt feeds off that. His best game of the season was the first time we played Buckingham. He had 27 tackles. We really missed him Friday night. He that's his type of game. He wants that old school football, and he's not big, but man, is he mighty because of his heart.
Yeah.
Devon Frazier, can't say enough about him. That's Mooney Frazier's son. He's been on here a few times. He just started playing football in 9th grade, and how far he's come.
It's incredible.
He's an undersized defensive lineman, but man, he'll give you everything he's got.
He has improved so much. It's unreal.
Paul Hutcherson, another defensive end linebacker, been with me for 4 years, 5 years. Phenomenal linebacker. He's one of our most physical kids. He's a lot like Wyatt. They're old school, hard-nosed football kids that just love the game. Rylan Neal, that was big to get him back. He played for us as an 8th grader, and then he went to Woodbury and started over there for the last 3 years, and this year he came back and started at center. He's been a phenomenal addition. He's gritty, he's tough, physical. Can't say enough about him. Davis Porter, another one on the line, offensive, defensive line, who's just a phenomenal athlete. Does everything you ask. He's quiet about it. He's tough. He's just a hard-nosed football player.
Yeah.
We got Mariano Perez. He came back. He actually started at center his freshman year during that COVID season versus Meridian. We only had 17 kids because we had a COVID outbreak. We had to play it, and he was a freshman. And he started at center and played the whole game. He took off his junior year, but we were glad to have him back this year. You got Ryan Dotson. He's only played for us for 2 years. I wish I had him for longer. He's one of the ones in the hallways that I'm always recruiting, trying to get out there. And finally, as a junior, he decided to play, and he absolutely fell in love with it. He was a big contributor on the offensive and defensive line the last 2 years. And then J.J. Johnson Green, and this is his first year playing, but he fit right in with the kids, and he had a wonderful season, had a lot of fun. Leland Stidham started out the season kicking for us towards ACL in the soccer tournament. But, we lose a lot of seniors. I think it's 16 altogether, 17. But they've left, I always harp on leaving it better than you found it. And I feel like these guys have really left it better than they found it when we started 4 years ago. And I couldn't be more proud, more happy for them. We'll miss them for sure. Luckily, we do have about 16 juniors that are coming back, and about 15 or 16 sophomores that have some playing time experience, but you'll never be able to replace those guys. You have to try to reload and see what is in store for the younger guys.
Yeah, that's something that I've had my own children play sports in Madison. Something I think the parents need to realize, and it's hard not to realize this, but you're so wrapped up in winning and losing the games, and then when the kid season's over, it's like a slap of reality right in the face. It's it. There's no more playing. And it's a bitter pill to swallow. I would, not for my own, I would just say to other parents, come along, enjoy the little things.
Yeah.
Same way for the kids. Enjoy the little things, bus rides, stuff in the locker room, camaraderie. They're your brothers for life.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, we really need to, it's society in general. Everything's always so fast-paced and going. We really need to slow down and think about the little things. And those are the things that the kids will remember most playing in years on down the road. And
I try to tell them that August 1st, especially the seniors, it goes by fast, way too fast. the juniors that I have coming up too. We were talking today when we were cleaning up the locker room and stuff, and it's like, I can't believe that you're about to be a senior next year. I remember when you first walked in the weight room and you were, this little incoming freshman. But it's a feel-good moment for a coach when you see these guys come in and how they grow as a person and how much they love this team, this family, and love football. Like, I don't think, for a long time we didn't have that in Madison anymore, and you're starting to get it back. Like, they just love the game, and that's one thing I cherish. 'Cause I really love the game. I think it's very similar to life. You learn a lot of life lessons through the game of football. So
it's. I think a lot of things also gets lost. People talk about going to private school, play here, this and that. There is nothing like playing with your buddies you went to school with. Most of these kids in Madison, I'm sure, you have some that transfer in, but not very many. Most of them have been friends and known each other since they were in kindergarten.
Yeah, a lot of these kids played, little league football when you first start walking football. So
and you
they
go
all grew up together.
And that Friday night atmosphere of playing in your hometown, coming out there out of the helmet or whatever and doing stuff, you're not going to get that anywhere else.
Nah, it's different.
It's special. It really is special. Well, Larry, thank you, and we'll bring you back in the end of the show, and we'll talk a little bit about next year.
Yes, sir.
Now we have Mr. Jeff Early. Jeff, for y'all, many people don't know him, is a Madison legend. He can say he's not, but he is. I mean, he's done a lot for this county. Played in high school sports, basketball and football. Did you do baseball or track? Play baseball?
And ran track for first 2 years.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit first off, but just tell everybody about yourself.
Well, Jeff Early, grew up in Madison, graduated from Madison, went off to college and played a little bit of basketball, and then coached basketball at Roanoke College for a year or two, and then went to law school. And after graduating from law school, came back to Madison and have practiced here since 1984.
So you want to talk a little bit about some of your football career at Madison?
Not really, but what I will tell you is I played JV football for 2 years, and I was fortunate to play 8th and 9th grade year. My sophomore year, I decided that I was not going to play football and just concentrate on basketball, so I did not play. We went to the state championship game and lost in the state championship game down in Appalachia High School. And so Eddie Dean, who was our coach, kept me involved. So he had me on the sidelines keeping statistics.
Yeah.
And then the next year, he convinced me that I should come out. So I came out for the football team and played quarterback that year. Had a spirited competition with Joe Jenkins and Ken Gerhardt. Ended up starting that year, and we went to the state championship game and lost at Scott Stadium.
J.I. Burton.
J.I. Burton.
Yeah.
And then the next year, we came back and we were able to win the state championship. So, and a barn burn over game, 23-22 or 22-21, and played it in front of about 10,000 people in Big Stone Gap.
In Bullock Park.
Bullock Park.
Yeah. Somebody told me it was years ago there was a picture down there in their local Hardee's of Carlton Johnson run up the sidelines, and they swore he ran out of bounds on that play.
Well, that is true about, there was a picture in the Hardee's and it covered one wall, I'm told, but it had to do with when they went for 2 points at the end of the game.
Is that what it was? Okay.
We were losing they were losing by 1 point to us, so they didn't want to go to overtime, so they went for 2, and Carlton played only offense, but Coach Dean put him in as a defensive back, and they threw a pass, and there's a picture with Carlton's arms across the receiver's midsection, but the ball is out here. So their allegation was it was interference because the ball had not gotten to him. Our allegation, or our thought was the ball was on the way out.
Yeah.
And so, but anyway, it was great game. Carlton had an unbelievable game, and we were able to finally win the state championship.
And so, and it's the same year ago to the winter sports, the basketball.
We had a good year that year, and won a district and won the region. Played a team with 6'9" center who was really, really good, and we were able to come from 17 points down in the second half and beat them, and then we went to the state championship game, and I don't really like to talk about that, but we lost 64-63
At one point.
at one point.
This is shot was bringing in. I remember. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is, I don't think it's still the state record. But this is before the 3-point shot. Jeff held the state record for most points in the state championship game with 38 points. Is that correct?
I had 38 points. I don't know.
It stayed in the record books for a long time, and I don't think it was only recently passed several years ago. But it was there for a long time, and that was for the 3-point shot. And I was at that game. I was really young at the time, but I was at that game, and that's something I'll never forget. Talk about it. And then you played baseball right after that.
Yeah, now I was not on that. I did not play my senior year.
Okay.
I was trying to decide. I was getting recruited by some schools and took some visits, but Rick Spigoni said I was the reason they won the state championship because the person who took my place played really well at the end of the season. So by not playing, and the baseball team won the state championship that year. So we were fortunate to be in the state championship game for football, basketball, and baseball.
That's something that's unheard of nowadays. I don't know if it'll ever be done again. Madison played 3 state championships and come to 1 point and winning all 3.
All 3 of them were one point or 1 run.
Yeah. So, just what is your experience about talking about playing with Madison? What do you remember about the atmosphere and everything and community and stuff?
Well, community support was unbelievable. And we got a taste of it in 2009, 2010.
We'll talk about that too.
Basketball, but it was. We won, of course, went undefeated in my sophomore year in football, junior year, and senior year. But the mindset was, are we going to win the state championship? And that was the mindset of the team, it was the mindset of the community, but the support from the community was phenomenal. We would play Weaver Road, Culpeper, and have 5,000 people at the game. There was nothing Madison. We went down to Clintwood, Big Stone Gap was supposed to 10,000. But the crowds were just 20 people deep on the sideline, standing forward, and it was what Larry's working towards, and I think doing a great job in building the mindset and the community support, and all of it works together. Madison is a phenomenal community in terms of supporting high school sports.
That's what we'll get to next. About your high school, helping Tim Taylor brought you on. What year was that?
2007-8 was the first year.
Okay.
Tim came back to Madison and he convinced Mike Stiles and myself to come and help he and Ben with the varsity. And we did that first year. The team before it was 4 and 23.
Yeah.
And the first year we did it, we ended up being 16 and 10 maybe.
Yeah.
Could have been, I may be off on that 15-11, but the groundwork was laid.
Yeah.
Good for the kids. And then next year we were 28-1. Lost to Dan River in the semifinals.
Yeah. And then next year, you were there for the championship.
Next year we won the state championship.
That's when Ben took over. That was crazy. I mean, we would go to, I know we went to Orange, what's up, 3,000? And Monticello filled it up in basketball.
I'll never forget driving in for the Monticello game and almost 3 hours before the game, and the line was all the way down to the football field, which was probably 3/4 of a mile long. I mean, we filled up the gym. There was no room for any of the other teams.
Yeah, I know at the high school in Madison, they were lining up for the games at 3:30. Some people were even lined up. I know one person, for a fact, that he was lined up there before school was even let out. He was sitting there in his lawn chair.
The Buckingham basketball game, which was second year, 2009.
Yeah.
It was as good a basketball game as I've seen. And that line, the line was from the gym all the way up out to the driver's ed parking lot.
It was crazy, and I remember the fire marshals, the first time the fire marshal was called in because there's so many people packing the stands that it was unbelievable. I can remember going down Fairgrounds Road, and when the bus came in, I think from the Winning State Championship, I mean, there was miles and miles of cars following that bus in. And you were on that bus?
I was not on that bus. I drove with the same people, but
I know from winning softball, something I'll never forget, coming down 29 and people on the side of the road waving at us this and that, and the parking lot at the high school was packed. Every fire truck, police car. It was a special feeling.
yeah, it was a phenomenal feeling, and it reminded me going back to when I was a senior and won a state championship in football. We came back from Southwest Virginia, and we must have gotten back at 11 or 12 at night, and they had a sheriff's escort at the county line, and the people there that night was phenomenal.
Yeah.
There were just so many people.
Yeah. This is really a great community that we live in. I know it's a small community, but it's a tight community, and something when you're doing really good or you're really down, whatever people need for help, this community is always there to support each other, and it's really been phenomenal. So let's also talk about after your coaching, you were on the school board.
Yeah, I was on the school board for a little over 20 years.
Okay.
1992 until December 31 of 2012.
Wow. That's unheard of for someone to be on the school board that long. I appreciate all your service you did for the school. I know, what are some of the most things you're proud of being on the school board?
Well, I'm proud of the community. I'm proud to be a part of the community. And public education is so important in our community and in the state and the country. And I was always so impressed with our teachers, administration, and coaches, and how hard they worked and what they did for the young people. So it was an effort to try to give back a little bit. I was selfish in some respects because I had two daughters that went to the school system, and so I obviously wanted it to be a good school system. But our school system is a good one, provides a good education for our students, and I did during those times, and I think it's continued to do that.
Yeah. Well, I really thank you for that. What would you want to most remember about your legacy in Madison County? He told me this. He told me when I asked him to do this, he goes, "You're scraping at the bottom of the barrel if you want me to come." And I was like, "No, that is far from being true."
Well, it is. I think what I'm most proud of is being a part of the Madison community and a part of having been a part of athletics at Madison, and then having coached for a little bit, having been on the school board, having worked in the community. I came back here because I love this community, and I wanted to raise my family in an environment that I was raised in.
Yeah.
And my wife asked me one time, she said, why do you want to go back to Madison? This is before we got married, and she's from Southern Maryland. I said, you just have to come back and see. And I said, if you don't like it, you let me know. Well, she loves it here, and she substituted in the school system for many years. But I'm just most proud of being a part of the community and being a part of being able to play in state championship games and coach in them and hopefully contribute in a positive way.
I know you seem like you're following the footsteps of your dad. He was a really big pillar of this community. He was a big supporter of athletics and everything, and it's really great. Who you got this weekend, Tech or UVA football?
Well, the heart says UVA, the head says Tech.
All right. Well, then score. Will be close.
24-7.
That sounds about right. Also, people don't know, Jeff's a big New York Yankees fan. You know, there are only smart people who look at Yankees, right?
That's right.
Because me and him both. Thank you.
Right. My pleasure.
Thank you, Jeff. Really appreciate you coming in. Thank you. Okay, Larry, so let's talk a little bit. So tell us about what happens during the off season. What do you guys do with the kids?
I usually give them off till we get back from Christmas break. First day back from Christmas break is our first day of off season workouts in the weight room. And from January 6th through August 1st, other than dead periods, we're working out Monday through Thursday. We're lifting, we're conditioning, we're watching film. So our season never really ends these days. It's a lot that goes into it, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
Did you guys do any summer camps and stuff?
So we'll do some 7-on-7 tournaments. Last year we went to JMU, went to UVA. I thought that was really, really good for us. We played against some really good teams. We beat Albemarle and Powhatan and a couple of these bigger schools. And then, we played really tough with Verina and Phoebus and these powerhouse schools. And I know we know it's not actual football, but it's fun to go out and compete, play 7-on-7, work on your coverage, work on your passing routes, your timing. So, that's really good for us. And it's good for us to see that we can compete with these guys. Phoebus, Verina, they got 4- and 5-star kids going to all these Power 5 schools, and we do pretty well. We hang right with them. So
I don't think the general public realizes how much time you do actually put into this. I mean, people just think as soon as the fall season starts, you're there, but it's really changed over the years.
I'll tell you who notices how much time I put into it, and that's definitely my wife and kids.
Now's the time to thank her.
Yeah, I thank her tremendously. We have 3 little ones at home, about to have 4.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And she's my rock. I wouldn't be doing this if she didn't want me to be doing it. It's not easy. And people like to talk about it like football is August through November, but not really, not anymore. It's January through January. I mean, I give them a month or 2 off, and that's about it. When we finish in November, I'll give them off till January, and that's it. But I mean, I love multi-sport athletes. I think you learn a lot just by competing. I encourage them to play other sports.
I think it's such a great thing.
I think it's huge. But, the beauty of it is a lot of my multi-sport athletes still find time, 2 days to lift. And today, that's very important. I mean, you see, playing in the bull run and stuff, you see these other teams that are just, physically stronger, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah, our previous guest, Jeff Early, that's a tribute to what a multi-sport athlete is.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it makes them a better overall athlete. You don't realize it, but you just specialize in one thing. That's what you want to do, but I think it makes you a better athlete.
I think that's one of the things I love most about a small community like ours is we're lucky enough to have several multi-sport athletes. When I was at Easternview, I was there for 5 years, and we had maybe 10 kids that played 3 sports, maybe a couple more that played 2, but most kids played 1 sport, and that's what they did all year long there. And that's a school with 1,700 kids.
Yeah.
So
when you're in a small school, they have to play more.
Well, even at a school that size, though, I wish more kids would be a kid. I wish you would play 3 sports. I wish it's good. It's great for a community. It's great for a high school. But it's great for a student athlete to play multiple sports and have a lot of fun.
So I guess this is our goodbye until next fall.
Yeah, we'll see.
This has been a lot of fun. I ain't gonna lie. We'll keep on doing this maybe twice a month with other sports, but we tried this out and we'll see what was going to happen. And last week's episode was over 600 views.
I really appreciate you guys doing this.
3,500 on Facebook, 650 or so on YouTube.
Who would have ever thought that?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you guys for doing it. I think it's good for the community and good for the athletes. And
Yeah, we're here. It's good. And we want to honor these kids and people in the community who don't usually get talked about. And it's also a lot of fun too.
Yes,
I
sir.
have fun with it.
I do too.
Okay. Well, thank you, Larry. Thank you. It was a great season
Appreciate
and
it.
something to build on for the future. And thank you all for watching.
Yeah, thank you guys.